Let's talk about 5 things that people tend to forget when it comes to prospecting. Core principle foundations. If you want to prospect effectively, you have to follow these. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Center. You know I talk a lot about prospecting, helping you find and retain better customers that you can close at full price. Let's dive in right now. Number 1 is awareness. You see, here's the whole situation. Is the customer waking up in the morning and saying, oh man, I hope Mark Hunter calls me today? No, it's not going to happen. My mother doesn't even do that. Well, I hope she does. But here's the situation. Here's where I'm getting to. We have to be able to create awareness. Now, awareness is created through a whole sundry of things. You may work for HP. You may work for Coca-Cola. You may work, and people recognize your company name, but they don't recognize you. You see, there's awareness. Critical aspect. And that's why many cold calling strategies go awry. Because they don't have an ability to create awareness. What does that do? That takes us to the next step, which is the relationship. See, here's the whole thing. If I call you and I do get you on the phone, we're having a conversation, and I try to take you all the way to the close, it's probably not going to be a very smooth close. And it's probably not going to be an optimized close for the customer or for me because there's no relationship there. You see, there has to be a relationship. Now, again, this is different between a big company and a small company. But here's the problem. A big company, too many salespeople rely on the relationship or the perspective or the attitude or the beliefs that the customer has towards the big company. But they're dealing with you. You have to be able to create that relationship. Number 3, now comes time to educate. And, let me say, not only educate, but sometimes it's de-educate. Whoa, what do I mean by that? You see, here's the whole thing. Many times you're dealing with a prospect, and the customer has preconceived notions. They've already done their homework, or they've been buying from your competitor, and they have all these ideas. And see, what you almost have to do is you have to come in and de-educate. Because when you de-educate, now I can finally be in a position to educate. If I try to educate before I de-educate, it goes right over their head. And again, I'll dive deep into this in a future video. Number 4, understanding the need and the validation. This is where the proposal gets on the table. See, I understand. See, I've gone through these other pieces. Now I can begin to understand the need, scope it out, and validate the need, validate all the steps. And again, I've done other videos on this, but need and validation. And here's what I find crazy. I can actually begin to do this in the prospecting phase. Because if I don't understand what your need is, and I don't understand how you're going to validate if you're going to make a purchase or not, why am I dealing with you? And the 5th one, decision. You see, again, I've got to understand what's your decision-making process. What is the level of criteria you're going to use? Extremely critical. 5 key things that I find too many salespeople leave out. And when they leave out, it doesn't happen. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Center. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want you to check everything out on my website. I'm going to ask you another thing. I'm going to ask you to check out my podcast, the Sales Hunter Podcast. And I want you to check out, wow, there's a lot of stuff. But here's why. I'm all about wanting to help you. You see, here's the whole thing. I want to do my best to create awareness. I want to do my best to create a relationship with you and to educate you. And only when I educate you will we both begin to understand what is the need and the validation for you to make a decision. Because that's really what I'd like to do. I'd like to be able to come into your company and deliver a sales kickoff meeting, deliver a webinar, whether it be on-site or in person. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Center. Great selling.